Have you ever met someone so confident in their decisions that they simply cannot see any other way? They move through life with a kind of certainty that feels unshakable. They've made up their mind about their career, their relationships, their future, and no amount of evidence, no alternative perspective, no warning sign will make them pause. This is tunnel vision, and it's one of the most dangerous mindsets a person can have. Because when you can only see one path, you don't just risk wasting your own time, money, and energy, you risk pulling others down with you. But there's another way, a mindset that holds a decades-long vision while staying open enough to adjust the route. A mindset that switches between the near view and the far view, that stays aware of the present while never losing sight of the horizon. Today, we're going to break down both mindsets, not to judge, but to equip you with the ability to recognize when you're in the tunnel and how to step out and see the whole landscape. People with tunnel vision are often incredibly confident. They've made their decisions and that certainty feels like strength. But here's what's really happening. Complete inability to recognize that there are other ways of doing things. Their mind builds a wall around their own perspective. They mistake that wall for focus, but true focus doesn't exclude awareness. It includes it. They don't maintain awareness of what's happening in the here and now. While they're locked onto their chosen point, the world shifts around them. Opportunities pass, risks grow, relationships fray because they're too busy looking straight ahead to notice the people beside them. They are looking too narrowly and not searching outside themselves for other perspectives. The tunnel vision mindset is highly introspective, but introspection without external input is a mirror that only reflects what you already believe. You ask yourself questions, but you never ask anyone else. You think deeply, but only inside your own echo chamber. This leads to wrong decisions, not because you're not smart, but because you're not considering enough factors. The most intelligent person in the world will make terrible choices if they only consult themselves. And here's the part that's hardest to watch. Overconfident people ruin their own lives and other people's lives also. A leader who can't see past their own plan destroys teams. A partner who can't consider another viewpoint fractures relationships. A parent who decides their child's future without listening can break a spirit. The cost? Time spent on a path that was never right. Money poured into conviction without evidence. Energy exhausted defending a position instead of evolving it. Tunnel vision is not clarity, it's blindness dressed up as certainty. But there's a way out, and it starts with a single practice. If tunnel vision is the problem, the solution is not to stop being focused. It's to learn how to switch lenses. Never stop challenging your own perspective. The moment you become absolutely certain about something, you've stopped growing. Make it a habit to ask yourself, why do I believe this? What evidence would make me change my mind? Always ask yourself why. Not once, but repeatedly. The first answer is usually the surface. The third or fourth why gets to the root. And sometimes at that root, you discover your conviction was built on sand. Actively ask the opinion of people you trust, not to be swayed, but to see what you might be missing. Wisdom often lives in the minds of others. You don't have to agree with everything they say, but you owe it to yourself to hear it and to investigate all the different ways you could reach the goal. Before committing to a path, explore alternatives, not to paralyze yourself with indecision, but to ensure that the path you choose is truly the best one. A week of exploration can save years of regret. These practices are not about doubt, they're about intelligence. They're about humility, the quiet confidence that says, I might be wrong and I'm willing to find out. This is what separates people who build things that last from people who burn bridges behind them. Now let's look at the other side, the big picture mindset. This is not the opposite of focus. It's focus with context. Vision is your roadmap. People who think in years, even decades, have a compass. They know where they're going. This is so me. I feel that pull every day. People who think decades stay focused even when setbacks arise. They don't abandon the journey because of a rough patch. They adjust their sails and keep moving. Every daily action is understood as a contribution to a broader vision. Success isn't achieved overnight. This mindset knows that. It's built in layers. Some days you lay a brick, some days you study the blueprint, but every day you're moving forward. Staying up to date with industry trends is so important. The big picture thinker doesn't ignore the world. They study it. They know that the terrain changes, and if you don't adapt your route, you'll never reach the destination. They are working to leave a legacy. Not just money, something that outlasts them, a body of work, a community, a way of thinking that continues after they're gone. They visualize their future. They see it so clearly that it becomes a gravitational pull. That vision doesn't live in the back of their mind. It lives in every cell of their brain. And when the vision feels overwhelming, they break it down to smaller steps. They know that the mountain is climbed one step at a time, but they never forget they're climbing a mountain, not just walking on flat ground. They stay open to every change because change is not a threat to their goal. It's the vehicle that gets them there. Actually, I'll tell you a personal secret. I'm totally consumed by my own vision. It sticks on every cell of my brain. Every day I'm working on it in many aspects. This video, this channel, every word I'm speaking right now, it's all a step toward my bigger goal. I'm not just making content, I'm building a world. And in that world, there's room for the tunnel focus when I'm editing a single frame, and room for the big picture when I remember why I started. You have a vision too. Maybe it's fuzzy right now. Maybe it feels too big. But here's what I've learned. The effective mindset is not tunnel vision or big picture. It's the ability to switch between them. Use tunnel focus when you're executing a specific step. Use big picture perspective when you're choosing which steps to take. Don't let overconfidence lock you into a dead end. And don't let overwhelm keep you from starting. Find your balance. Switch your lens when the situation demands it. Stay committed to the vision, but stay humble enough to learn from every perspective that crosses your path. Because that's how you build something that lasts. Not just for yourself, but for everyone who will walk the road you help pave.